Hi everyone, today I am making a sweet potato cheesecake you're gonna love, cracks and all. Let me show you. For my graham cracker crust, I'm using 10 finely crushed graham crackers, a fourth cup of finely chopped pecans, a fourth cup of sugar, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And I'm just going to mix it all together until my butter absorbs and everything comes together when I grab it up in a ball like this. And that's the bind I'm looking for. Now it's going into my springform pan that I've lined the bottom and the sides with nonstick parchment paper. I also sprayed it a little bit with some baking spray. And I'm just going to press it into the bottom and a little bit along the edge there to kind of get a little slight edge, not much. And I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees and it's going to bake in the oven for about 10 minutes. Then for my sweet potato pie filling, I'm using 2 cups of pureed sweet potatoes. I baked these sweet potatoes and then pureed them in my food processor. And I'm going to be adding 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And then for my dry mix, I'm going to add 3/4 cups of sugar. Coming up, that's 3/4 cups of sugar in the bowl I'm mixing, a tablespoon of flour, a half teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of nutmeg, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice that I'm mixing right into my sweet potatoes, y'all. And for my milk, that's 3/4 cups of milk, actually a half cup of evaporated milk, along with a 1/4 cup of half and half that I mixed together. So that was my milk mix I just poured in. And then I'm adding 3 capfuls of vanilla extract. If you've seen any of my videos, y'all know I'm a heavy-handed when it comes to the vanilla extract. And then the juice of a half lemon that I'm just squeezed into the bowl, giving it a nice little mix. And last are 2 large eggs, y'all, that I am adding. And once I get my eggs incorporated, we have our delicious sweet potato pie filling. Now for the cream cheese, y'all, for our cheesecake, that's 2 8-ounce packs of cream cheese softened to room temperature. And I'm going to be adding to it, once I mix it a little bit on low for about, I say, a minute, I'm going to be adding a half cup of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour, and then a half cup of sour cream, along with 2 capfuls of vanilla extract. And then once I add the vanilla extract, I'm going to give my cream cheese mix a little squeeze, y'all. That's the other half of our lemon that's going in. Now I'm going to mix it all together for about a minute before adding 2 eggs, large eggs. And I'm just going to mix those in for about 30 seconds, y'all, until they kind of disappear into the batter. Definitely don't want to overmix our eggs. And then once I get everything incorporated, I've taken it off the stand. Now I'm ready to remove not half, but a half cup of our cream cheese mixture. Then once I get that mixture removed, that half cup reserved, the rest of it, y'all, is going into my prepared pan. We're going to get it nice and smooth. And then once that's nice and smooth, I'm going to gently add on top our sweet potato pie filling, y'all. Look at that silky smooth texture, y'all. Just the way I want it. Making sure I get close to the edge here with our sweet potato, y'all. And then once I get that, here I am dabbing on that half cup of cheesecake filling that we reserved. And then I'm going to take a skewer and just go up and down and put in a few little designs just like you see here. I have the oven preheating to 425 degrees. Yes, 425. And it's going to go in there to bake. And as you can see, I have a pan of hot water on that bottom rack. Now this is going to bake for 10 minutes, 425 degrees. And then after 10 minutes, I'm going to turn it down from 425 to 325 and let it bake for about another 50 minutes. And then after it bakes for 50 minutes, I'm going to turn the oven off and let it sit there until it cools down for another hour. And then after that hour, this is what we have right here, y'all. Don't mind that little crack there in the middle. I never do. I have no problems with the cracks in my cheesecake because I know how to fill them, y'all. And I'm filling this one right here with some delicious caramel topping. And it's going to go into the refrigerator for overnight, y'all, at least 24 hours. And then once I take it out, I kind of let it sit at room temperature. Well, a little longer than I planned, a couple of hours before I was ready to cut it just for you and see how beautifully those sides come out with that parchment paper. Just makes it so easy. And then when I cut into it, I cut right there on that crack, and that's what I got. Right there. Lovely, y'all. Look at that nice cream texture and the inside. You know, this set pretty well, y'all. So let me go ahead just for you. And yep, we are going to take that first bite right off the tip. Man, y'all, when I tell you sweet potato cheesecake, I'm calling it supreme. Look at that texture, y'all. Let me give you another little close-up before I woo. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you try it. Till next time. Bye-bye.